That is correct. Do you know where we can find that?
Yes.
In the Wrestling Mayhem.
That's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends. I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And, you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. Do you know where we can find that?
Yes.
In the Wrestling Mayhem.
That's right.
Sidekick Media Services. We are your sidekick in business for social media, video production, and more. Find out more at sidekickmediaservices.com.
Hello, friends. I'm your pal in the mainstream media.
And I'm your Riz.
And, you know, Riz, it takes years of strenuous, dedicated training before you're worthy to step inside a professional wrestling ring. But it takes even more time to develop complex, highly astute opinions about professional wrestling. Am I right?
That is correct. Do you know where we can find that?
Yes.
In the Wrestling Mayhem.
That's right.
This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com. This show is brought to you by Slice on Broadway, supporting Pittsburgh podcasting with the perfect pepperoni pizza. Production services by Sidekick Media Services. And listeners like you, supporting us at patreon.com/AwesomeCast. Time to get geeky, get awesome. It is the AwesomeCast. What was that?
This is the AwesomeCast.
I'm at Sorgatron here in the Sorgatron Media Studios in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, ready to get geeky with you. A video producer, I guess. I never tell people what I do on these shows, I realize. But we have with us I'm a podcaster, obviously, and we're doing video, and there's a studio. That's all you need to know, I suppose. Also with us back on the show is the Dudders.
Can you hear my pen?
Hey, you got your punching poop pen.
Happy New Year! Here's the
Happy
pen.
New Year! Social media and God knows what else she's doing this week for a job.
Hi.
Hi. Are you recovered from the holidays yet?
Enough.
No. We were playing with He-Mans in Starbucks the other day, so that was our big. And
A recovery day.
yeah, that was kind of a nice recovery day. That was like the best day I had in like 2 weeks. So amazingly, so. But also back with us is from the Pod Cave is Dave Podner.
It's Dave Partner.
I found it.
Glad to be here, Sork.
There you go.
There we go.
You get a sounder and everything. I'm like Kid Metal.
I feel all official now.
Can I get one for Podner? He's like, I already made one. I'm like, when? And it's like, oh, here it is. So I got it in the system. We were all set to go. So we're gonna get started with our awesome thing of the week, and we got a kind of a news segment. Podner, you're doing this one right tonight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
we'll get to that here after the Patreon break. But in the meantime, let's get into our.
It's the awesome thing of the week.
That's right, and I'll go first on this one because it was a long and sick holiday for me. I was down for like most of between Christmas and New Year's, it seemed. So there was a lot of just like I just need some not heavy brain food to deal with at the moment. And the biggest thing that really helped me through that, and I had already been kind of diving into this as like something to put on like at night to fall asleep to. I just needed something a little bit different. And I discovered it came up every once in a while in my stuff. So I finally dived into the Mystery Science Theater 3000 YouTube page. And the great thing about this is they have multiple ongoing live streams just playing old episodes of Mystery Science Theater. And they even have some riff tracks as well, which is, a lot of the crew went and did riff tracks after Mystery Science Theater when they went off air. So this is a lot of the older stuff. Now, myself, I'm a Mystery Science Theater fan from, I discovered them in the Sci-Fi Channel era, which apparently is much later in that, because there's a lot of stuff in there and a lot of people I don't know that are part of these. I watched this so much over about a week and a half that I ended up going into repeats on the live stream. So, but again, that kind of like sick mulling in and out of consciousness kind of thing. It was like kind of perfect for something like that. And they have multiple live streams. They get the Riff Tracks one. They have a simulcast with their Twitch stream. They have a Forever-a-thon, a Shorts-a-thon, which that's what I never discovered from before is they do videos over like, this is how to have a proper family in the 60s, and this is how to go farming, and this is how to date properly. These instructional videos that I presume they played, I don't know, in schools at the time on a reel-to-reel, and they're doing their commentary over that. The fun one that I think Katie will be interested in is there is a monster movie only feed that they have, Katie.
Ooh.
So, and it is like a little bit of everything, actually. Like, there is some like Gamera, and I think there's a Godzilla film or two that's part of their collection. Like Godzilla's definitely been in the intro and some of the stuff I've watched. So, definitely highly recommend that. And to go with this, if you didn't know, if you have an Apple TV, there's actually a timer on there, a sleep timer that you could put on. So I've been doing that, so I'm not like 3 hours later waking up with the weirdest dreams. When I'm not sick, and actually trying to settle in for the night and just have something like that. So like it's great because you can kind of shut your eyes, hear the jokes and kind of what's going on, and still kind of know what's like have a sense of things. So it's been really appreciative. So subscribe to that. I think they have some stuff on there, and they do have several episodes just like straight to watch on there as well, so you can dive into that. So it's been a really nice catch up with this. Obviously, they don't have like the newer Netflix ones, which I think are still on Netflix since they were produced over there. So you can discover those over there. But if you're really interested in kind of checking out the kind of the old school Mystery Science Theater, like I think this goes all the way back to their cable access days, or local TV days, or whatever it was when they kicked things off. At one point, I turned it on. And again, this is something that like kind of like you put on for noise. This has also been great because I put a lot of like podcast stuff on when I'm doing like kind of mundane tasks in editing and things like that. And this has been a perfect placeholder for that. And at some point, they started playing all of the documentary segments from the DVD collection. So that was kind of a nice behind the scenes that I just stumbled upon when I flipped it on one time. And the nice thing is if you miss something and want to kind of go back, YouTube's really good about DVRing things that are live. So so I started watching, I'm like, and then I rolled back to the beginning of what was going on with the documentaries and stuff like that. So that was really cool. And that also led me into, a lot of these channels are really good at making long 3-hour compilations of things. Like Secret Galaxy often is like, hey, here's everything we ever did about Transformers in a 3-hour video, right? Angry Video Game Nerd, which apparently this was an autoplay out of this, does these massive, like, here's everything we did on the Amiga. Here's everything we did about this. Here's everything we did about this. Here's all the Sega CD games we did, things like that. So I've really kind of dived into the leaving YouTube on as background noise idea, which makes, and I realize, like, this paying for YouTube Premium makes so much more sense now that I leave it on like this too, because there's been a few things I'll put on, and like Hulu has commercials with my Disney Plus, right? And I've been putting up Die Hard, and there's only like 3 commercial breaks, but still very disruptive if you're just kind of like putting it on for background to me. So, but that's me. I feel like I'm very commercial sensitive. So that's it. Mystery Science Theater 3000 on YouTube for free, and they do have some membership levels and things like that too, that I think get you a couple other things as part of that membership. So very cool. I don't know if you guys dived into anything like this that's like either Mystery Science Theater or anything else that's just kind of a ongoing holy crapathon or stuff like this, other than Lo-Fi Girl or any of those music things.
Not quite that, but there's a YouTube thing I listen to called where it's a serial. It's actually someone narrating a story that was written with permission from the author on YouTube. So they're using some AI artwork, but they're doing all the voices. And it's like it's almost like an old time radio serial where they're 20-minute episodes. They did come out twice a week, but real life gets in the way. So they come out once every other week now. But it's like, so it's like this week on, I'm trying to remember. It's a science fiction one. It's my brain is completely gone.
Why don't you drop it in when you come across it? Okay,
I will. Yeah,
no problem. And we'll give you some time to think on that. Katie, you got anything to add to this? Anything that you kind of dive into on the YouTube side before we get to your awesome thing?
No, I barely use the YouTubes. I did use the YouTubes today. I sound like 1,000 years old. I did have to use YouTube because I was trying to explain the song, the Jock Jam Mega Mix, and couldn't find it to play anywhere.
Were you trying to explain it to a youngin?
Yes. And then he said, "Well, you should have just said it was the Space Jam song."
Space Jam song? Is it seriously the Space Jam song?
It was one of the original. I think with the first. It was on the CD for the first Space Jam or something near it.
That makes sense. It wears me out when like wrestlers come out to it too, because we have some very jockey friends. That are new to the wrestling these days, and it's just like, okay, here we go. So
simply in fuego, like I knew everything. Like there was no.
Absolutely.
I probably haven't listened to it forever, and I was like, oh, I know all these parts.
All right, next with their awesome thing of the week, let's go with.
It's Katie. Katie
That's me.
That is you. What is your awesome thing of the week?
So this is kind of a repeat because Chilla brought this up. It's the Casa pop-up desk by Logitech. And that's because I got one for Christmas.
Yes. Okay. So what is it? What is it popping up? I guess.
This is laptop. This is spend a lot of time traveling. I know, shocked.
What?
Our laptops sit flat. I don't, that's rough on our necks and trying to keep track of everything and trying to take care of ourselves. But this was something that I wanted, and I'm so excited because I actually remembered to ask for it for Christmas because sometimes I don't think about these things. But this is all the bigger it is. It's a little guy here, and it looks like a book. And then you just take this guy off, and inside is the trackpad. Watch it fight me now. Trackpad. This is where my cables live in this little box here. And this is, I probably should take the keyboard out
That's
first.
a nice all-inclusive kind of thing. And here's what it looks like when it's set up for you guys on the video as well. So I mean, it just kind of like stands up your laptop kind of near vertically, and you have a included trackpad and keyboard situation, and it comes into that nice little box that you're showing there.
And then so that's what it looks like. It sits up here. Your iPad, anything you're using can sit on there. This is do this. This is like my normal keyboard. This is what the size difference. So it's not it's a nice compact size without the number pad. So I mean it's almost the exact same size.
It looks like it's pretty much the size of if you're familiar with the wireless Apple keyboard that doesn't have the numpads. So
I like it. Yeah, it's a great size. It's easy. I like the keys are a nice clicky. It's also the keyboard itself is a little bit raised, so it's not flat. And trackpad's nice too, and it's rechargeable. The cables are in there, and yeah, that's it. You just kind of there's a little. You can hide things in here, probably things like important things like cables. But yeah,
does that fit into your backpack? Is it kind of like fit next to your laptop maybe with the backpack?
Yeah, I would say so. Close this guy down, and now you're going to challenge me to find something near me. It's smaller than a Trapper Keeper.
I love it. I love you have a Trapper Keeper for comparison.
I have a Trapper Keeper, about the size of a D&D handbook.
A D&D handbook, okay, about the size of a D&D handbook, okay.
Oh, look at that! We're just going to do
look
that.
Look at that context. That's how we're going to size everything from now on.
I know. Either by a Trapper Keeper or the D&D handbook. But yeah, it's a nice size.
Can I do a bonus awesome ask of the week for you? Because I've had this picture. Because I wanted to bring it up. I feel like I just haven't thought about it when you've been on. But I took this one image when I think it was our last trip for SAE in Florida, and you have this amazing stand for your Kindle. You have like such a Kindle reading mechanism going on here because you're showing a page turner for this as well. So this is just a little kind of pop-up stand, so you're not like like craning your neck down or anything like that. But you also have like a button for it too, right?
It's in the other room. I can't even show you the thing.
Well,
I'll bring it next.
I can zoom in on this one, so you can see that little doohickey.
That's the little standy guy. That stand in particular is heavy duty, and I don't think I'll travel with it again unless I have to. It also doesn't sit very flush with the page turner. You can't see it, but in my right hand, there's a little clicky button. It's just Bluetooth. It charges USB-C, and you just stick it along the ledge, and you can just click through, so you don't have to hold it or touch it. And you can I find that I read much faster when I'm just clicking a button down here as opposed to like hitting the screen. So you can get those in a variety of. They're very trendy. You can find them pretty much anywhere, and people put cute keychains on them and all kinds of stuff.
I was just relatively like kind of amazed when I'm like, we're sitting getting ready, they trade table time and everything like that, and then I just see you just like setting up this whole mechanism over here, and I'm just like, she's just reading. What this is great, and I wanted to make sure we brought it up on the show because I thought that was some road warrior shit right there.
Thank you. I'm working on it.
There you go. There you go. There are plenty of opportunities, though, So, anyways, I think, Potter, it's time for your awesome thing of the week. Oh, wait, just to review real quick, that awesome thing, just so I have it so you can look it up. It's the Casa Pop-Up Desk, CASA. And they have it over on Logitech.com. And, of course, I'm sure it's over on the Amazon. Everything is retailing. It looks like it for $179.99. So, all set. There you go.
Okay.
Podner, what's your awesome thing of the week?
Sure. Now I put my retro one in the awesome thing. Do you want me to hold
Oh
that
no, I
off
want
then?
you to separate that. That's its own segment,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. So if you go down to where it says follow up from Reflex,
Okay.
I talked about how Reflex is having it's basically a 2x lens that you can put on your iPhone 5X to make it a true 10x optical. And they're shipping.
Mm-hmm.
And the link I sent you, unless it's
No, I got it.
not
I just
good.
want to show them what it
Okay.
was. So
Okay,
it's this
sorry.
like full lens attachment that comes off your
Right,
your
right.
iPhone to really kind of add a physical lens situation to it, right?
Exactly. Now you do need to have their case because it actually does screw in, so it's a very good tight fit. It isn't like I bought a little jerry rig thing
Mm-hmm.
where it's just supposed to clip on and put right over, and it doesn't work. What I got.
Okay.
This one works great.
Okay.
And so there's people who I know who actually have it isn't just reviewers or isn't just the company. People who I know actually have them in their hands and we're taking photos with it. So like there's the first image right there is your, the wide angle and here if you there should be a little area. And then you go into the 2x and then you do the 5x with the telephoto and you can see you do not since this is a optical zoom, you're not getting digital artifacts, you're not getting blurring, you're getting a very up close shot here that is very clear.
And again, not perfect probably because it is probably compressed for Instagram and the way that we're looking at it here.
Exactly,
but from
yeah.
what I'm even as far as Instagram goes, like that seems fairly detailed there.
Yeah.
I think I can kind of tell where it's the Instagram that I'm having a problem with versus what the photo did itself. So I'd love to see the visual files for this.
Yeah, I mean, it is truly amazing what you can do with it, and
this account is a Macmillan photo. If anybody wants to check it out too.
thank you. Yeah. That's my co-host on iPhoneography, Greg McMillan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, he actually has it. He's played around with it. He uses it a lot. He loves it. Now the thing is that I did ask him some details, and I said, could you put it on the the regular Fusion camera, as Apple calls it? And he says, you can, but it's really meant because if you put it on the regular non-telephoto lens, you get kind of a pinhole effect. Just because it's not designed for it, it's really designed for the 5X. And to keep it on the 5X, because if you use the built-in camera app that comes with Apple, if you put it'll automatically try to shift to whatever's the best lens.
Yes. Yeah.
So the best thing is to use a third-party app, like Reflex's own app or Halide,
something that gives you like a little bit more control over which lens you're using, right?
Yeah, because in that case you can say I want to use the 5X zoom, and then it sticks it and it keeps it on there. So that also means that because the 5X is the low light isn't as good as the 1X one. It's not necessarily great for night photography because you have just because a lot of the built-in magic is only in the camera app, the built-in camera app,
right,
for the low light photography.
Right. So you're not so the two books of magic do not mix together.
They do not, unfortunately. Yes. No, they do not. So if you're looking to take like moon photos,
yes,
it's still best to have a scope with a good scope attachment.
Okay, and do that physically and the, I guess, quote unquote right way, right?
Well, you can't beat physics.
Yes. The physics way versus the digital way. Gotcha.
Exactly. And I mean, some things do a great job, but sometimes you have to cheat to have the digital look that good. So sometimes you just, like when you and Dutters go to like an SAE event and you want to zoom, you need the big long lens to get that zoom right.
Or as we call the Gary.
You need the Gary, exactly.
Yes. This is a Gary
You just
shot.
can't take a normal one and then digitally zoom because it gets blocky. So you need the. I have seen companies put out not the equivalent of Gary, but close to get you a massive zoom on an iPhone. It looks stupid.
I would love that. Well, I mean, you can set it up if it's like Katie, if it was like yours. I love how your lens is so big that the lens itself is what mounts on a tripod, and then you attach the camera to it. I can see a mechanism like that involving an iPhone, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's just duct tape it to Gary and see what happens.
There was a company, and I don't know if they sell it anymore, but they did sell a
adapters?
lens that put it on an iPhone, and it had to be 4 inches long.
Why? Hey, I have a dumb photo question for you, Dave.
Okay.
Why can't we? Because I know there's adapters that do, like, I don't know, Nikon lenses on a Canon or something like that. I know that's out there, that exists, and I don't, forgive me for not knowing fully that. But is there something? Why wouldn't there be something that would just adapt, to take my Canon lens and attach an iPhone to it?
I think someone has tried to make something.
Okay.
The problem is, if you look, even the newest phones, if you look at the size of the lens here, compared to even the smaller end of a, telephoto lens, the amount that you would have to narrow it down, I think is too much.
You're still having a surface area issue here.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. And I mean, you can. It to me would be the equivalent of holding your phone, which I have done, up to binoculars.
So like it's kind of again, we're back to physics, aren't we? Because like in order to taper down and hold it, you're going to be pulling it away from the other end of the lens, which changes what that lens.
And then you would have to
Okay.
you would have to actually have lenses inside the adapter
correct
to narrow it. Exactly. Yeah.
I love it. The physics of photography. And it's just making this thing work, so, but no, that's very, very interesting. So that is so that was some samples of what did we call that again? The reflex.
It is the reflex.
The reflex camera. That's REE Flex camera. And of course, their Instagram, which is going to have everything, is at REE Flex camera. On the Instagram as well, if you want to check that out and
now,
look that through.
I did see it's a 2-year-old post on Reddit. Canon lens mounted on iPhone.
Yes, let's do it.
So it shows a cage.
Okay, a cage. Oh man, can you put this link in somewhere? I gotta see this thing.
Yes, I will.
Put that right beside your awesome thing so I can pull it up.
Okay.
So you said it's a cage situation?
Yeah, it's literally it's like a steady cam cage.
Listen.
With an iPhone.
It doesn't even matter if you're doing the simplest, stupidest thing. As long as you put whatever camera or iPhone in some kind of cage mechanism, even if it's like a $15 one I got off of Amazon, people are impressed. Okay, there's this, that was always why I never wanted to go down to DSLRs and stuff, because I'm like, I need to look like a professional, so I want to bring the big camera, and the big camera is the best one to shoot with for what I do. But I've been like whittling down to these smaller ones that are just better for situations. But I'm always like, they think I have like a damn handy cam that's like $400. It's like, no, this is a $2,000-$3,000 camera,
Yeah.
So, but and same with DSLRs. That's one of the reasons I've rejected DSLRs up until now, as an idea to get into. So for video. But anyways, so you got your link in here. That was killing time until, oh my God, this thing. Oh my God, this thing. Oh, look at this thing. Katie, I think that's how you're going to roll through Baja this year.
Perfection. I can do it.
There you go. Nothing could go wrong with that. So many little parts and nook and crannies for the Baja dust to get into.
Oh, there's no dust in Baja.
No.
However, there are tons of adapters out there.
Oh, I'm sure it's plenty, yeah. But I mean, how many are like good? And nobody brand name is doing this. Like Canon isn't releasing something like this, right? So, but it's always, in how many are just 3D printed?
You kind of wonder, but yeah. The thing is, these are, even though I found a couple that link to AliExpress.
Mhm.
These are still almost $200.
Mhm. Wow.
So yeah, mobile phone to DSLR adapter ring. There's one a 17 millimeter smartphone
Well,
case
So
system.
then I go to like every year you're just like, oh, we filmed this in iPhone for the presentation. It was
Mhm.
like, okay, you put it on a $15, $16, $1,800 iPhone, but then you applied $30,000 of worth of hardware and lighting to it. Of course,
wait a
it
minute.
looks good,
So-
you know.
So Sorga, I'm going to put another link in here just to
Mhm.
the right,
Mhm.
just for the visual.
Oh my god.
Now this is a couple years old. This is from Petapixel.
Okay.
This is for, I'm sorry, not more than a couple years old. It's 2018. So it's an old iPhone, but
And it's so
that
off-centered.
look right there.
Oh wait, there's a video for this too. Oh no, is there a better picture? Maybe. Hold on, I'm gonna see this. I got to see this in use, in hand.
In
It's
action.
an Autorama situation. So this looks like it's from oh, it looks like it's from like this is from NAB 2018 in Las Vegas. So,
Wow.
that is like an iPhone. I don't know. It's got a button. What is that? Like maybe a 7. But wow, look at that. Look at that. So the lens is so huge. What is that? A wide angle? Wow, that's
it
amazing.
it says 28-70.
So it tapers like immediately back to the iPhone. It looks like, right?
Yeah. yeah.
So like it's so wild looking. Anyways, well, you know what? CES is happening now, and we'll see what happens out of that kind of thing. I've only seen a few things about TVs and the such, so you know, we'll see what kind of pans out from that too. And we might throw back a little bit here as we're waiting to hear what's awesome from CES. Maybe we'll cover that a little more next week and see what hits up on the news cycle here. But in the meantime, thank you everybody that does support this show on patreon.com/awesomecast. We are live right now with the Patreon only feed, which means we go on a little earlier. You hear a little bit of chatter with us, and of course you'll get the first dibs on checking out what's going on over post show with the awesome after talk for this as well. And of course, and thank you everybody that does support the show over there, including Cynthia Klosky, who I think just celebrated, if I'm not mistaken, I think I saw a post that they celebrated 10 years of Shift Collaborative, so congratulations there. We did some work back in the day with that crew for a little bit on a project, and good to see they're still rocking out there. And also thank you to John, Dickie DeGore, and Dave Potter. Thank you for continuing to support the show at patreon.com/awesomecast. So we're starting Katie, you've been talking to Katie about like new things to do with the show, and we wanted to do kind of an awesome throwback. And to do that, I don't know if you noticed, I got my this is actually Missy's. I stole from Missy. I get my hair off it. I got an Adelphia sure. I don't know if anybody knows, this was a cable company, and I guess I think there's like some relatives that like were the private plane pilots, jet pilots for them up in New York or something like that. But Dave Potter, we're only going to do like one a week here because it's only so much old school stuff. But, Potter, what is your awesome old thing of the week here? What's your throwback?
Sure. I figured with CES this week, I would look back on what was the hot topic in CES in 2010.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'm correct, that's when AwesomeCast started, right?
Yes, we did start in it would have been around E3 of 2010. Yes.
Okay, so I wanted to see what was the hot thing, to see if it would exist, or we would have, something that would, like generations down the line, that would be like this was the hot thing. The hot thing in CES in 2010 was netbooks. That was the thing that was going to break everything.
Mm-hmm.
It was going to be, everyone was going to have netbooks all of a sudden.
Look at those guys. Look at those.
And everyone's like, oh, we have our netbook. We have our netbook. We have our sexy little netbook. Look at our netbooks. They're everywhere. They're amazing. They're only 8-inch screens or 10-inch screens.
But
but they're cheap.
I'm unknowingly prepared for this because ages ago, my mother gave me this bag had 2 netbooks, Gateway netbooks in it. She's like, "Is there anything I could do with these?" And I'm like, "Probably not, Mom." And so, for context, here it is. This is all the bigger it is if you're with us on video. Hold on a second. Here is an iPad Pro for size comparisons. Here it's actually bigger. I wish I had a regular iPad here, but it's across the room. And you're like, "What can I do with this?" Well, let's see. What makes it a netbook? At the time, they had an Intel Atom processor. This is the Intel Atom N450. And look, this is around the 2010 era. This is running Windows 7 starter on it. 1 gig of memory, which still seemed low for even 2010 probably. 160 gigabyte hard drive, which is spinning, by the way. It had your Wi-Fi in there. It doesn't. This one actually, yeah, it does have. This one does have an Ethernet port, and I think the other one that's been floating around here may have an HDMI port in it too, but it's relatively the same model. So the idea is you literally just surf the internet with this thing. It's a personal internet device of a sort.
Yeah.
But this is also, isn't this the same year the iPad dropped?
Well, that's the thing. When netbooks came out, there was rumors of an Apple something coming out. You know, it was the Apple tablet that was going to come out, and so everyone came out with these netbooks because they were $300, $400, $500. So they were a lot cheaper than notebooks, but they were also crap. And I'm sorry for anyone who bought one. They were plasticky. The screens were low resolution.
Yep.
And the Atom processor was slow as molasses. And it was literally, do I want to get a notebook? The answer is no. Save up, get a real notebook, or get a used one, or get anything, because they were useless. And what happened is that all came out in January of 2010. Big news, big news, big. Oh, Apple's falling behind. Is Apple going to come out with its own netbook? How can Apple come out with a netbook? Everything at Apple's so expensive. It'll be $1,000. It'll be too expensive. And then Steve Jobs came out with the iPad 3 months later and said it starts at $500. And boom. And at that point, netbooks pretty much went away.
Well,
because
wasn't kind of the answer to the netbook for Apple, aside from iPad, also the MacBook Air that fit in the envelope?
No, because the netbook Air, the very first one, was $1,800. So that was actually, it was small, it was thin, but it was not cheap. And so the iPad's kind of there saying, well, you could get because remember the original iPad was 9.7 inches. Apple basically said, oh, for only a couple $100 more than plastic, low resolution screen, smaller, you can get a bigger screen that is glass and metal, and you can get wireless or Wi-Fi. You know, remember, it's still just like now with the iPads, and it starts at $500. And at that point, when that hit the stores, and you said, okay, and remember, the very first iPad didn't have a camera either. We bought one the first year, and
we bought 2.
I could not find it. I could not find it in the house. I don't know if we got rid of it.
Oh, I got one in the back actually. So
if you compare just the build quality, and they were thick and heavy compared to the new iPads. But you compare that build quality to a netbook, it blew it away.
Yeah, because you had that aluminum feel to it. The screen felt better and everything. So like it was higher resolution, even for what it was doing back then, which was really simple. You know, I remember the argument was like, you know, this is not a creator device. This is a consumption device versus a netbook. Well, even a netbook, I don't know how much you were creating on that unless you're like blogging. Right. So
it's pretty much surfing the web, answering emails.
Yeah.
You weren't doing any photo editing on it.
No, I wouldn't think so. Katie, did you ever encounter any netbooks early on, or were you well into your white iMacs with the Hello Kitty stickers on it?
No, I was into laptops. Oh my gosh, laptops. I never got into these little dudes. No, I can't even think. No.
I'm still don't know how my mother got a hold of 2 of them. Like, I don't know how that. I'm like, how did you have these computers? Like, what? How many computers do you have, Mom? You know. So, wait, which
A lot of
which
times,
version of
'cause
AutoCAD is this? You know.
a lot of those, especially after the first year, because the companies were making them, they thought there was going to be this massive, huge sale for them, and like I said, they just died off. So they were giving them away. Oh, you're signing up for cable. Here's a netbook.
Oh, that's right. Like there was always a Samsung laptop netbook that was like included with like AT&T or Verizon or something, right?
Yeah.
That they tried to push on you, and just
buy a
no.
new cell phone, get a netbook for free.
I would say that because they started putting the cell chips built in, right? So
Yeah, some of them had.
that makes sense. Kind of like how the iPad did eventually. So wow. So CES 2010 was the year of the netbook, apparently. The flash in the pan of the netbook. They don't even look attractive in this article. They all look like thick and plasticky. They look pretty much, I mean, really, this gateway computer looks better than the ones in the picture showcased at CES from the article that you gave. It's even got multiple audio ports. Look at the I.O. on this. Look at the I.O. This has more ports than most MacBooks over the last 10 years. So it's got like at least 3 USB-A's. It's got a VGA port on it. It's got Ethernet and like both in and out for audio. It's incredible. You couldn't do anything with it, but that's it is what it is. I actually tried putting Xubuntu, which is a lower overhead version of Ubuntu Linux on it, and it won't even handle that. So the 1 gigabyte of RAM is really killing any possibilities you have with this thing. So it's been an interesting experiment with something like that. I don't even know what the graphics are. Like it seems like the graphics just dump out after a while too. So whole 10.1 inch LED LCD, hot 1024 by 600 display, by the way. Yep. You can see
Not even HD. Not even low end HD.
Some of a web page. So, there you go. I love that was across the room. Dave, thank you for bringing that up. And again, we're going to try to cycle through here and talk some old tech. And if you guys have any ideas, things we want to kind of bring up from the past, we got around. I mean, if you remember the old things of the show, I had a lot of them just on display in the background, for instance. So, anyways, I'm going to let Katie pick the next story. Potter's got a lot in there. Or is this you here with the phone charger here, Katie?
I got the phone charger.
Oh, let's do that then. What's going on with the phone?
Okay, so the title of the article is a little deceiving, but that's okay. New product wows CES by fully charging a phone in under 5 seconds.
What?
It's Swipit. Swipit?
Swipit?
Is
Swipit?
SWIPPITT.
That is Swipit. There's a lot of consonants in that thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So essentially, it makes it sound like you put the phone in and it comes out fully charged.
Well, like a toaster?
Look at it. It does. It looks like a toaster.
It does look like a toaster.
So the thing, so it's a fancy toaster, but no, it's the case. So the case has the battery in the back. Okay. So when you drop it into this toaster, it pops up with a new battery on the case. So it's not like you drop it in and the phone fully charges. It's in a case that has a battery pack to charge your phone in the toaster.
By the way, show title I just put in for notes is iPhone toaster.
iPhone toaster.
It's got like a super quick charge battery in the case that it can activate, allegedly.
Yep.
By the way,
or is it more? It's just it looks like there's in the machine. There's 5 fully charged batteries ready to go.
Oh, jeez.
And you stick it in there, and it's basically pulling off the old one and putting in a new one.
Is it hot swapping the batteries? Is that all we're doing?
Yeah,
it's hot swapping the battery in the case.
But you have to put it in the toaster thingy.
Yeah.
Yes.
You got to hot pocket your iPhone.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez. What the hell? That's weird. Okay, so it's not actually charging it.
No, that's where I was like, oh, this looks like interesting. And then I was like, oh, but I mean, it's still interesting because it does look like a toaster that you stick your phone into. And it comes out with a brand new battery in the case. So yeah, they're making it seem like it's pretty low profile. The battery part of it. But yeah, so You can, the whole family, drop it in the toaster.
Drop it
Go.
in the toaster.
I scrolled down to the bottom. The hub is $450,
Okay, well, it's a lot of
and
batteries.
the case is $120.
Well, I mean, what price are you going to put on power? It's like a Drobo for batteries. I don't, and I guess you have a hub to tell you where all the batteries are at too. So, like, okay, so I'm trying to imagine the use case for this. Is this just like, I feel like this is the thing that's like by my front door. I don't actually charge any batteries overnight. I just swap another one for the night and then swap a new one on the way out the door, right? Like that seems like the way you pick up your keys in the on the the desk in the foyer is the way that you're just like get your day battery, or something like that.
Or a company where you don't have to worry about, or a company on location where you're using the phones an awful lot.
Oh, so you have company phone. So we have free cereal and sandwiches and free battery recharge as a perk.
No, I mean, like, imagine you're on location somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
You're using your iPhones,
Mm-hmm.
and instead of having to plug in your iPhone, your iPhone's down to 20%, and the extra, shove it in there, get it out, and you're ready to go back to work.
Just gonna plug this in the back of a work van for when we're on site.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be.
I dropped the link in there so you can see what the cases look like.
Mhm.
They're not terribly bad cases. I mean, it just looks like
it looks nice. It just the price.
The battery goes in the side.
Ouch.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But you can get your toaster in different colors, like white and poplar.
Yeah, I guess so. It just looks like. Okay, so it just does a swaparoo thing. I need to see video of this thing at work. So here's a guy. Oh wait, he puts it in the kitchen.
Imagine the mistakes.
Don't
Oh, no.
listen, Mom. Don't put your why does Mom keep putting her phone in the toaster and the bread in the charger?
It'll be the biggest confusion since the people were wondering about the cup holder that was in the computers.
The CD drive issue.
The CD tray.
Yes.
Yeah.
My cup holder isn't working anymore.
It was kind of convenient, and it was like really kind of layered. It looked like a cup should have belonged in the middle of the CD tray at the time. So, but yeah, that's we really turned this into a podcast for the olds, haven't we?
Yep.
Swipit.com if you want to go find out more. Is this like all they're selling here? Is that like all they do? Power your day in 2 seconds, it says. Okay. I'm fascinated about this. This is one of those. We got to set a reminder for ourselves. Check on these companies 8 months from now and see if they're still around. Somebody was doing on stuff that they reviewed from the year before at CES, and they're just like, "Oh yeah, this company's still up." But none of the products in stock. They're dead. They're not around anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So exactly. So, Ponder, you. Oh wait, actually, let me do this one.
Okay.
Are you missing the days of Kmart? The soothing.
Who isn't?
It's like a warm blanket of Muzak in your ears is what you're missing, right?
Exactly.
Well, over on Nerdist, somebody has apparently taken. No, that's Dave. There we go. Somebody has apparently taken the Walmart music playlist from the cassette tapes issued by corporate, and they have made them available on God Bless the Internet Archive. This is why we must support the Internet Archive. Please donate if you are able to, and you can go check that out. Yeah, the cassette tapes. Not as impressive as a floppy disk that ran the Chuck E. Cheese robots. Just up until about a year ago, but still pretty impressive there. So this is like the classic old school one, because I remember back in my day, I was at Spencer Gifts, and it was literally Muzak in the back, like MUSAK maybe, or maybe there was an extra A in there, I don't know. But it was a player, and it was what looked like a CD, but it was like a 4-hour CD that went on loop, which was still not enough for your brain to not be okay with listening to the same Halloween playlist for a month and a half. By the way, so those are some rough days. So anyways, thankfully Spencer's had plenty of toys to play with on the slow ones. But anyways, yeah, so enjoy that. According to this Nerdist article, this is they pulled up the one from October 1989, which includes some great jams like "Goodbye Again" by Olivia Newton-John and "You Make It Feel Like Christmas" by Neil Diamond. So there you go. So I think everybody's just a Spotify playlist these days, right? Or something like that. So
This is great. The whole setup is incredible. I don't know if you clicked on it, but it looks like the cassette tapes. Like there's all over the page, cassette tapes, and
on the archive itself.
Oh yeah, this page is just phenomenal, and it's funny because like I picked one from 1992, and there's definitely ads in this, like for your wall, and the cassette tape sound is just incredible because you just like that low level, it starts out like that because you had that little intro of.
Is it gonna have all the blue light specials in it and stuff? Wait! These are records. If you go back here, Christmas background music, Kmart March. I might have ended up somewhere else for the search here, but
well, no, there is the Kmart ones on top.
Yes,
and the old ones are the Kretzky companies. So it was before it was renamed Kmart.
Oh, so it's like the original pre-Kmart stuff,
right? Well, Kretzky was the name of the person, I think, who started it, and it got converted because of K in the person's last name to Kmart.
This is an hour 23, this cassette tape, which you would just put on, I believe, Oh, no, everything's playing. Sorry, everything's playing. I don't know what tabs are open, so we're just going to ignore that.
Well, there is one from 1974, which is reel to reel.
Somebody went and adapted. Somebody got this thing on a reel-to-reel. Because a lot of these look like records. Are these reels that I'm seeing here? Like these colored Christmas ones? No, they look like records.
No, it says album. No, that's vinyl.
That's vinyl.
That was vinyl.
Oh,
that was
man.
vinyl.
Nice.
That was vinyl,
Record in 32-bit, 48 kilohertz wave. Okay, we're good. Cleaned.
You figure something from the 60s, there was, I don't know if there were really cassettes until the mid to late 70s.
Wow.
So yeah, everything had to be vinyl back then.
That's amazing.
And that the thing on the at least for mine, there's a picture of Kmart. It's their annual report. They have up there the annual fiscal reports from its initial stock offering in 1912 to 1976. And then when it turned into Kmart from 77 to 85.
Where was it?
And then 92, 94 to 2001.
Where do you see the stock one?
It's if you look on it, it's a picture instead of a reel to reel. I have it as the first one on the second row.
Hold on, I got even better. This is the one I want to listen to. Here's a video actually of it's called "Complete the Sale" from the SS Kressage. How do you say it?
I think it's Kretzky.
Kretzky?
Kretzky.
Look at this. Look at this. Like, what is this clip art situation? Is this the video that they used, or did they put it over it? Bianca, individual slide scans, vinyl record, audio track, images of the film strip, tin, and vinyl record. So there you go. This is the next Mystery Science Theater right here.
Oh.
Wait
a minute. Wait. If you look just to the right of that, there's one by the Coca-Cola Company. The Diary of Lady Luck.
What is this? Oh no! I encountered
about the
error.
fountain counter service.
Oh no! I'm sure these are tremendously informative. just by the slides right now.
It looks like AI.
It does look like AI a little bit, doesn't it? Maybe that was a cleaning process or something they used a little
be.
bit.
It
Because
could
I
be,
like we've been playing with a lot of that because there's a lot of kind of AI enhancement stuff that we've been kind of messing with here, and I got a box of old hard drives I need to see if I can resurrect for Joe Dombrowski. So. Anyways, this is incredible. Look at these. Just the old soda pop bar there, which they probably had in a Kmart or whatever Kmart used to be. So that's how they got to the popcorn and pizza eventually. For those that remember. No, wait, they had the food bar.
That's Hills. That was more Hills.
Wait, was that more
No,
Hills? The Kmart had. They had like a
restaurants.
food bar restaurant, Little Caesar, it's something like the one over at Parkway Center when I first moved down here. So
Right. But Kmart in the past
did not.
And I'm going back to early 80s.
That was an innovation of the 80s, I'm sure.
Yeah, but no, in the early 80s, the Kmart that I remember down Crafton Shopping Center, where the Giant Eagle is now, had a full-service sit-down restaurant with a salad bar.
Okay.
Because my mom worked there.
Okay.
And you had waitresses, you had a hostess, you had booths, seating area. It was a restaurant inside of the Kmart.
Interesting. What is... Hold on. Sorry, I found another link in here. I'm kind of curious about now. I was going to go to the tip of the week, but who put this thing for the nature of predators?
Oh, that was the YouTube one that I was having trouble remembering.
That was what you're
exactly
looking
what
for?
it was called.
Explain this to me.
Okay, well, like I said, the story is humanity's first contact with aliens.
Okay, and they're
and
the aliens are adorable, by the way.
Some of them are adorable.
Okay,
yes. But here's the thing: in this galaxy, there's only one other species of predators, and they're kind of the big baddies that kill everyone.
Oh, I think I found them. Are these the ones that look like porcupines?
No, they're the nice ones.
Oh no, now I'm in a whole thing.
Yeah. But no, the predators look like big lizards, big scary lizard looking things. But everyone else in the galaxy is told, oh, if all the predators just want to do is kill you. So if you come across a predator, and they were like, oh, we see these humans, and this was like 1,000 years ago. Yeah, that's the predator. And the idea is, well, predators are evil. We need to wipe out these humans. But eventually they said, well, they're so primitive it won't be an issue. Then they come in contact with humans like, oh, they're predators. All they want to do is kill us because they have forward-looking eyes. And, unlike us who are not predators. So, and it's there's conspiracies going on, politics, space battles. And you can see there's 170 episodes that this person produced so
and
far.
these are like, looks like about like 12 to 15 minutes for the most part. I found one that was like 6.5 hours. That was like the first 30 chapters. Yeah. So
So they do have also compilations if you just want to listen to the first 50 episodes or so.
That's very cool. So you've just been kind of diving into this. That's been your background thing.
I started to listen to it on TikTok, but the person had problems with TikTok because of the limit on the time. So he just went over to YouTube.
Which is what most are doing here. So
yeah.
I guess last note here on the way out, I noticed this. We are, I believe in about a week, I think next Monday, there's, speaking of TikTok news, like there's going to be a hearing on, I think they're going to do in Supreme Court next week. The 19th is when it's supposed to be supposedly banned. I did not realize until about a week ago CapCut is included in this as a company. At least that's what one of the pundit podcasts I listened to mentioned. So I that's the first I had heard of that as an issue, but it makes sense. They are kind of the same company, aren't they?
Oh, they are the same. Yeah, they did buy CapCut. I wonder if Lemon 8.
Yeah,
which is also owned. I haven't heard that being.
I heard I thought I heard that in the same, because they said TikTok, CapCut, and another thing, and that might have been Lemonade. Unless there's some other app that they do as well. So I find that concerning because CapCut is definitely something that's been an amazing tool that we have been using just for general, very specific editing. Kind of things. So I did not renew for an annual subscription because who knows. But got all my updates today just in case. But yeah, no. If they shut everything down on the 19th, I'm going to be. I actually am. Part of me doesn't want to research because I don't want to spend the time in case they decide everything's going to be okay. But if they drop a decision on this thing that's going away, I'm going to start kind of investigating. But I know I have seen, and Katie, you probably have too, because I know we watch a lot of the same TikTok accounts. A lot of them are moving to the Instagram, moving to long form videos over on YouTube. I know the was it the Musketeers one? What was it? What's the Disney World engineer account that I know we both love? They've moved on. I'm sure if I flip through here, I'll find it real quick. But I've been noticing that trend on a lot of the videos that I listen to. They're like, hey, and by the way, just in case something happens on the 19th, please follow us over here so we don't disappear, kind of thing. So everybody is starting to migrate their users at the moment. So we'll see what happens with that kind of stuff. So
yeah, I'm seeing some people say yes and some people no. So who knows?
So and who knows what's going to happen in a couple of weeks here in a lot of ways. And it's kind of the least of our problems, but at least on the AwesomeCast side, that's something to look out for. We're going to continue posting there our clips and stuff until we have no reason to, honestly. I think it's worthwhile for the most part. So like just kind of continue with it. Hopefully you have a side plan and a side place for people to go and a mechanism for them to find you if that happens. And once again, to our knowledge, TikTok will not shut down for us in America on the 19th. It will simply, my understanding is, it be delisted from the app stores. So you'll still have it for a bit. You just won't be getting any updates. You won't be able to download it on new devices or reset devices or anything like that. You probably won't get a re-download option, honestly, if they do a full ban on it. And that would probably also apply if you have CapCut as well. So I'd probably go to the CapCut.com, download the the install file. Well, actually, no, because if you have CapCut, nothing can stop you from... If you subscribe through App Store, you're not going to need to cut that out. But if you go through the .com, there's really not much to stop them from allowing it. So honestly, I don't see why that would be an issue. There's plenty of programs that are from small authors that are definitely not American that I use. So that are literally on servers like in Europe. So so I think it's just going to become like I will download the European version of CapCut, I guess. And pay over on the website. Although the website seems to be a little more expensive, I've noticed. It was like $20 for the account versus like $8 that I pay on the App Store right now. So, we'll see. We'll see how it happens there. We'll see if there's new tools that step up. You'll probably, I bet you'll see a lot of ads for CapCut replacements here in the next couple of weeks, right, Katie?
Oh yeah.
So
been using this. Use this.
Hey, it's better than. Well, you always get the better than CapCut ones, right? Like
yeah,
better at clips than CapCut kind of situation. So, but I don't, unless I hear from a very reputable video production source, I'm not gonna poke at some of those. There are some professional tools that do what CapCut does that I'm starting to look at for like some AI upscaling, but I'm not ready to drop $400 on those yet. So it's one time, I probably put $400 into CapCut by now. Anyways, guys, thank you so much. Dave Potter, iPhoneography Podcast. You can ask him about his big lenses over there.
Oh yes, they said that very big lenses.
That's the place where the big lenses go. And also one with the big lenses is Katie Dudas, the Dudders.
I got the biggest lens of us all.
That's right. Everybody's gonna put their big lens on the table. This isn't a contest, Katie. This isn't a contest. KatieDudas.com to find out what's going on with you. And I'm at Sorgatron on all the social media. Sorgatron.com is quasi refreshed. I'm refreshing some of the back end stuff. Actually, I figured out that here's a little tip. If you have a domain, you can connect your domain to your Blue Sky. So I am at Sorgatron.com on Blue Sky now. So, it's time to be here. It's time to end the show. There you go. So, guys, thank you so much. You have been our awesome audience. Have an awesome week. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at Sorgatron.
Oh, they closed.
Really?